All right. Okay. Yeah. So my husband Pete and I, we own personally, we own 12 storage facilities. And then through the fund now, where we have 3. I'm also trying to raise money for the fourth facility. Okay. So this fund too, just so everybody knows, is like it's a 506c fund. And we're trying to raise enough money to buy, 6 storage facilities by the end of the year. So right now we're in the process of buying our fourth storage facility, and I'll go into that facility here and I'll show you what it looks like and stuff like this. Okay, show you the numbers. But today, so the outlook for today on this pitch is that I'm going to just introduce myself and kind of what we do. And then I'm going to go over the slide deck and then just kind of go over the offering so that you can see what the fund is about. And then we're going to get into like all the types of deals that we have in the fund. And on top of that, we'll go over the financial model. Okay, so that's the outlook for today. So thank you for listening. Thank you for hopping on. And so, so I was saying my husband, Pete, and I, we started investing in self-storage in 2017. Before that, we were rehabbing homes is what we were doing. And we rehabbed like from 2011 to 2017, we rehabbed 100 homes. And then I got pregnant is really what happened. And so after I got pregnant, then I started looking around trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because rehabbing is like a lot of work, right? So luckily this storage facility right behind me that you see in this picture right here, this is the one this is our very first storage facility. And it had been listed on the MLS for like 5 years. This is back in the day when properties used to be listed for like 5 years and nobody would buy them and stuff. It had been listed for 5 years and nobody bought it. So I went over and took a look at it and then instantly just knew that I was going to buy it. And that's like our very first storage facility. Now we buy severely mismanaged facilities, right? So what that means, there's 2 different types of mismanaged facilities. One of them is where it's like, it just looks dumpy. It's either abandoned. We bought several abandoned storage facilities where the owners are just like, I'm out. Or it just looks dumpy, like they're just not upkeeping it, or maybe it's older, it just needs a lot. I mean, it doesn't need a lot of work, like per se, as in like renovations of a home, but it just doesn't look, they're not taking care of it. Like maybe the doors are bashed in or something like that. Okay. So that's one way of having a mismanaged facility. And then the other way is like, it's a facility that's making money, but it's not making what it should be making. And it's really like maybe 50% full or 75% full, or less than 75% full, basically. And so we can make money by, raising the rents and managing it properly, getting it, updated, utilizing and making as much money as we possibly can, depending on, what the facility looks like or whatever, and trying to figure out how we can make how we can create more types of income outside of just like the rental. Okay. Now, when we start looking for storage, like when we look for storage facilities, we look in either tertiary or secondary markets. So we do not buy in primary market. So primary market would be, like the big cities and stuff, right? So like Nashville or Orlando or whatever it is. But we typically look at secondary markets. So for instance, we just closed on a facility in the fund in Leesburg, Florida. Leesburg, Florida is really like a suburb of Orlando. If you know where Leesburg is, it's about, maybe without traffic, it's like 30 minutes north of Orlando. With traffic, it's like 45 minutes to an hour. Okay. And so that would be considered a secondary market, right? And actually the competition of that property that we just bought would be, is there, we have like, there's a Cube Smart, and then there's a couple of like small, like mom and pop facilities. But when you see like Cube Smart or Extra Space Storage, they're only really ever going to be in like primary or secondary markets. and really not even in a lot of secondary markets, right? Just as long, if it's a suburb of a primary market, they might be there, right? So we do have a CubeSmart as competition there. Okay. And so that would be someplace that we look, and we are focusing on properties that are mismanaged facilities that have a very good, like a large amount of upside, where we can buy them 50 cents on the dollar or less. So typically we're buying properties 50 cents on the dollar or less. And actually every property that I've ever bought on all of the, 15 or 16 properties, we have 16 properties now. Of all of the 16 properties, then they've all been bought 50 cents on the dollar. So, but the thing is with these mismanaged facilities, right? What that means is that it's not an income producing property, right? So this fund, like when you put your money into this fund, you're not going to get a return on that money for, as long as it takes us to stabilize the property. Okay. Now, the good thing about this fund is that we have a whole bunch of different, properties inside the fund. So like, you'll make a little bit of money based on, how the properties are doing over having 4 or 5 or 6 different facilities in the property. So there'll always be something going on, and you'll be making money on some part of some facility that we have in the fund. That's the good thing about having, like, a lot of different facilities in one fund. So we're not syndicating for one fund, like one deal. Like we're not syndicating for one facility. We're really just raising money so that, I can pool that money together and then go out and buy facilities in the fund. Now, the thing is that typically the type of facilities that I buy, banks will not touch them. So that is the purpose of this fund, is really to raise cash, because banks will not touch these properties. So for instance, like the Carrollton one, which is the one that I'm trying to raise money for right now, it's like a great property. This has so much promise, so much opportunity. And but the thing is that the owner, his records are horrible. So he owns 3 different companies, and what he was doing was commingling all his funds in all 3 of his companies. So like when you look at his P&L and his balance sheet, like you cannot tell what he was doing at all, because like it's just totally jacked up. So we did show a couple of lenders the property, and they all said no, they would not lend on the property. It's just too risky for them. Okay, so those are the types of properties that we typically buy with cash. Now, every once in a while, I'll convince an owner to owner finance the property. And I do this actually, on our personal properties, and then in the fund, we've done this quite often. And I try to be as creative as I can, so that, we can just, get the owner to finance it. The owner can be the bank. But in some instances, like the one that I'm trying to raise the money for, the owner does not want to owner finance at all. Like I have asked 100 times, and he just keeps saying no. He wants cash. He wants to take the cash, and he wants to move to Costa Rica and retire. That's what he wants to do. So he does not want any owner financing or anything like that. And so thus I'm here trying to raise $1.4 million so that I can go and buy this property. Okay. And so all of the properties, when I go over them today, you'll kind of see you'll see kind of a pattern in how we do it. My husband is the one that manages our properties. So we're completely vertically integrated. So what we do is, like, I'll find the property, my team finds the property, and then I raise the money, so I fund them. That's why you guys are here. And then I hand it off. Once we close on that property, we hand it over to Pete, and then Pete's team manages it. All right, so that's the management portion. So he's like, he's running around like a crazy person, trying to get, like, hire boots on the ground people. And he's training the boots on the ground people. And he's like, just doing, like, trying to get everything set up internally in the office so that we can manage the property. So we're very vertically integrated in everything that we do. We have a management company that manages all of the properties for the fund. Okay, and that's how it works. So I'm going to go through and just kind of show you the offering and what we do within the offering, and I'm going to also show you some of the deals that we're working on, so you get an idea of like what kind of deals we buy. And then we'll go over the financial model so you can see the numbers. And then at the end, Anne is on our team. Anne's here. She's listening in. And she's going to email you and touch base. And she's going to try to, she's going to send you over, any information that you need. She's going to get you into the portal. She'll help you find the financial model. If you want to set up a Zoom meeting with me and go over numbers and things like that, she'll do that as well. So, anything that you need from me, just Anne will be there. You can email her and ask her to help get in touch with me and stuff. Okay, so we can always set up Zoom meetings if you want me to meet one-on-one with you to go over your situation and is it going to work for this fund and stuff. Okay, but yeah, this is a 5060 Reg D fund, so you have to be an accredited investor to invest inside this fund. Okay. Okay, so let me share my screen and then let's get in. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to just put this this web link into the chat, and here it is. And I'm going to this is the link to our portal. So if you look at the chat and you can open it up and it will just look just like this. Okay, and inside the portal, what you're going to do is you're going to want to access the PPM. If you don't already have an account set up, you're going to have to set the account up by accessing the PPM, right? And then just click on this and you'll have to set the account up. And what that does is that gives you access to just the PPM. That's it. Okay. Now inside the portal, I'm going to log in. I'm going to log in under, let me see, under questions. And this once you get inside the portal and you read the PPM, which is right here, you can view the PPM. Then this is like a PDF style, right? So you can make it bigger, you can full size it, and you can read it, and you can go through. And the PPM really is like, it's just the Bible of the fund, right? It has all of the rules, all the regulations of what what we need to do inside the fund. And then on top of that, our fund manager, his name is Adam. He's my CPA. He's also managing the fund. He follows this, like this is his Bible essentially. Okay. And then you can just, scroll through and read it. And this goes through like the history of me and my husband, Pete, all the types of deals that we've done. We've done, rehabs, we've done rental properties, we've done other commercial property, storage facilities. We've done kind of all of it, multifamily, everything. It's all in here. So you can go through and see the types of deals we've done as well too. This is all the properties that we've owned. And, and then also the operating agreement is also in the PPM, but I'll show you where you can find all this separately as well too, okay, inside here. But this is something that you should do, is really go through this PPM, okay? And if you have any questions like about the PPM, or if you have any questions about whether or not, you qualified to put money into this fund, you can always set up an appointment with Adam. All right, so he's the fund manager, he's the CPA. He could do an accreditation letter for you. He can look at your income, he can look at everything and tell you exactly, whether or not, you're a good fit for this fund. Okay. All right. So that's that. Okay, so there's the PPM. Now, when you get back to the dashboard, what you're going to want to do, you'll only, when you set the account up, you're only going to have access to the PPM. You want to upgrade to investor status. So you can see this like status bar right here. And you can see the prospect account was created, so you could read the PPM, but you want to just immediately upgrade to investor status. Okay, once you upgrade to investor status, you're going to be able to see all this on the dashboard, right? Because if you're only in this status right here, then you'll only get access to it'll only say read PPM. Okay, so once you upgrade to the investor status, you're going to want to go to the documents. All right. And then documents is where we have the supporting documents. All of the documents I'm going to go over today are right in this section of the portal. Okay. So you can see that there's the accredited, what it takes to be an accredited investor, the articles of the organization for the fund, and then it's got some executive summaries of all the deals that we've done. So you can always download these, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to download the investor presentation, download Leesburg and Macon. So all 4 of the properties are all going to be here. So if you wanted to actually take a look at the properties we're going to buy, you could do that. I'm going to go over those right now. But you can see the offering extension, the operating agreement is right here if you want to read it. The PPM is right here. You could see the quarterly reports are here from the last quarter. I'm about to upload the first quarter of this year. I haven't done that, but we just finalized all that last week. So that's here. And then the subscription is actually here as well too, right? So if you wanted to download any of these documents, you just come into supporting documents and you can take a look at it, okay? And so that's available. So so what I'm going to do now is the first thing is I'm going to just open all these up actually. So let me get into here. Let me stop share, just open all these up. So we have all this. So I'm going to just, everything that I downloaded, I'm just opening up is what I'm doing. So you can see everything. And let's see. So in the folder. Yeah, here it is. Which one did I not do? Okay, and let's see. Here it is. Here's the investor presentation. Let me share this with you. So this is the slide deck. This is right what I just downloaded from supporting documents. And you could go through this as well too. I kind of sort of did this already. I went over the introduction, the business strategy, investment strategy. I just summed it up for you guys, but this is really what the slide deck says. We do small and pop acquisitions. We kind of try to stay in the Southeast. We'll go anywhere in the Southeast up to Texas is where we'll go, but we're typically Georgia, Florida is where we're at. All right. We own property in Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee is where we own it. Okay. So the offering, okay. What we're trying to raise up to over a little bit over $7 million so that we can buy these 6 properties. Our IRR is 19%. The targeted IRR is 19%. I'll show you where we're at right now based on our numbers. The financial model that we have available shows the exact numbers to date as of like this quarter. Okay. The hold period is 5 years. And so whatever amount of money that you put in, you will hold it up to the 5 years, depending on what we do with the properties. Remember, we're going to have 4 to 6, facilities in this fund, and we could be holding on to them. We could be refining them out. We could sell them, in a couple of years, so they'll be after 2024, after next year, like in 2025, there'll just be a lot of activity going on, depending on where the market is. We may refi out. We may, if we're ready to stabilize, we can refi or we can sell the properties, so it's just kind of we'll just have to see where we're at. And that'll be probably by the end of 2024 or the beginning of 2025. Okay. And so the preferred return is 10%. So any money that you put into the fund, you will make 10% on. Plus, we have the hurdles, right? So there's 2 splits. There's a 75-25 split and an 80-20 split, depending on where our IRR is. And I'll go more into detail on that in just a second. The quarterly, the distributions are quarterly payouts. Now, remember that we are buying severely mismanaged facilities. So these are facilities that banks will not finance. So if a bank will not finance it, that means that we need to raise cash to buy it, or we need to get the owner to do some sort of creative deal structure with us. And so, 2 of the properties I raised cash for, and then the 3rd property, I got the seller to seller finance. And then the 4th property, I'm trying to raise cash for. Okay. So just a mix of what's out there and what I can get, this kind of stuff. Okay. Okay. So, and then, so we also contribute 4% into it. So once we close on the property, then we'll put 4% in and into the deal as well, into the fund as well too. And then as again, you could see the promotes are, it's a 70-20, so sorry, 80-20 split or a 75-25 split, depending on where IRR is. The minimum investment is $25,000. All right, you have to be an accredited investor, and this is a Reg D type of offering. So it's a 506C Reg D fund, and you must be an accredited investor. Accredited investor means that you have a net worth of $1 million or more, or you make at least 200,000 or 300,000 a year, depending on how you file your taxes. Okay. All right. Okay. So, and here's the waterfall. So waterfall just means it's like, the waterfall basically means there's milestones, right? There's milestones for us as the general partners to meet, and to try to accomplish. So basically, if we only get to the 10%, the 10% IRR, then we only split the property. I'm sorry, we only split the proceeds 96 and 4% because we put the 4% into co-invest. Okay. Then anywhere from above 10% to 15%, it's a 76-4-20 split. So 20% to us as the GPs for getting to this milestone, 4% to us for co-investing, and then all the investors will be able to split the 76%. Okay, and then above 15% or more, it's a 71-4-25 split. So 25% to us, and then 4% to us, and then 71% to you guys to split. Okay, and just let me know if you have any questions on any of that. And then finally, the question is are there any fees? All right. So we have 2 fees. One of them is a management fee, which is less than 1%. It's a 0.625% of the purchase price on an annual basis. Right. So on $1 million, we'll get $6,250 for managing that property inside the fund. And then the acquisitions fee is a 0.50%. So that's like a one-time fee for us finding the property for the fund. Okay, those are the 2 fees. Now there's no refinance and there's no disposition fee. So, but then if we do any type of development, we would get paid 5% for developing that, and then a 7.5% fee for being the general contractor. So, for instance, on the Carrollton property, we are buying like 170 doors of storage, and then there's a 20,000 square foot building on the property that he is renting out. I'll show you about it. But if we decided that we wanted to convert that to climate control, which I think is a great idea, but we'll have to see if we can raise the money for it. If we could do that, then, we'll be able to, we would get paid that fee for managing that development. Okay. Okay. All right. And then as you go through the deck, then essentially, it will show you kind of how we put everything together, how we manage everything. We are completely remote, like we are remotely managed. So what that means is that there's no offices at any of our facilities. We are completely electronic, completely automated. And we have basically a boots on the ground person that goes out, once or twice a week to the facility to clean it up and maintain it and stuff. And then we have in-house, we have 3 people to answer phones. And, and then we have like an in-house office person to manage like auctions and stuff like that. Okay. So we're vertically integrated. I told you the locations, I told you what we buy and stuff. So let me just get into, you can just go through the slide deck, but this kind of just goes through like, some case studies. It gives you pictures of our facilities that we own, this kind of stuff. Okay. But for now, what I want to do is I want to get into, let me see. Okay. I want to get into the properties that I bought so far. Okay. So this is the very first property. Let me share my screen. We bought this one. It's American Mini Storage in Blairsville, Georgia. Blairsville, Georgia is like a little tiny town. If anybody has ever heard of it, it's a little tiny town in the North Georgia mountains. It's right on the border of North Carolina. So that's like how far it up. It's up. It's a very beautiful area, and it's a very fast growing area. Okay. And it's a very, very good area to invest in. And then within, so the town itself is like, a little tiny town. It's a little mountain town, really cute mountain town. Very good weekend getaway if y'all want to go do that. And then, but then like within a 10-mile radius, and typically in tertiary miles, you look, in the tertiary markets, you look at like a 10-mile radius. There's probably around maybe 30,000 people in the 10-mile radius. So we just, the mountains are so spread out. So not a lot of people live right in the city, but they live kind of everywhere around the city. Okay. It's a place where like a lot of people have like a lot of vacation homes. If anybody knows about the North Georgia mountains, there's a lot of vacation homes there too. But so this is part of the facility. There's an apartment, there's an office, and there's a garage. So we're in the process right now. We're considering renting this apartment out. And maybe even renting this garage out. We'll see. I'm not sure. But we're considering renting. It's a very nice big one bedroom apartment. It's probably like 1,000 square feet, this thing. So we might be able to rent that out. And then here's what the storage looks like. The storage, we're not in bad shape at all. There's climate control. I mean, it's a very nice storage facility. Not a lot of, maintenance issues at all. We are putting gravel down. We're going to re-gravel the whole thing. I don't know if you can see it anywhere, but we're just going to put some gravel down and just clean it up a little bit. It should cost a couple $1,000s. This is a house on the property as well too. The lady that lived there for 10 years, and she was paying $400 a month. She's leaving today. She's moving out today. And we already have a handyman walking the property today, making a list of what needs to be repaired. And then we're going to rent this house out for like $1,500 to $2,000 a month. And so we're in the process of doing that. We didn't even include that income into the numbers that you see. So it's going to be another minimum of $1,000 a month extra that was not included. Actually, we didn't even include the $400. So it's really going to be like $1,500 a month that we'll be able to add to the income starting today. It took a while to get, for her to get out and stuff, but she's finally moving out. And then this area right here, this is another, this is a partial, this is a part, like a half of an acre. That's also, it's kind of like a little bit further past this house, but we got this whole area all cleared, all bush hogged. And we're in the process of putting gravel down. We'll probably put gravel down this next week or the week after. And we are going to start doing boat and RV parking over here. And we figured out that we could probably do about 10 spaces. And we're going to charge $75 to $100 a month. And so then we'll be able to make another, upwards of $1,000 a month of income here once we get that filled up. Okay, so that's another $2,500 a month that we didn't even include into the income for the property on purchasing it. Okay, here's what the property looks like. There's the facilities here. There's an empty lot right here. And then there's this facility, this portion right here, which has storage. This is the climate control. This is the house. This is a barn. We're thinking about even renting the barn out, honestly. We're in the process of getting that cleaned out because the owner left some stuff there. And then we may even just rent that out too as well. And then this is the part where we're doing the boat and RV parking. And there's actually another drive that comes in this way. So we're in the process that this driveway will be fixed. So the RVs can come in and then park, and then they'll be able to go out right here and go out this way. There's a gate. We added a gate here. He didn't have any gate, so we added a gate here. We already added a gate there. So we're working on getting it cleaned up. And so that's what this property looks like. It's very, very good property. He was making about $8,000 a month. Is what he was making. So we ran the numbers. Yeah, we ran the numbers. It's 22,000 square feet of storage, 136 doors. He was making roughly $8,000 to $9,000 a month. It was at 50 cents. He was at 50 cents a square foot. We raised the rates, and we're at I think we're right around maybe 85 to 90 cents a square foot right now, trying to get at least up. And but we're at 50% full because when we raised the rates, we pissed a lot of people off. So now we're just leasing up. And the goal is to get it to 99 cents. It's the market rate is 99 cents. Actually, the market rate is above $1. It's like way higher than $1, but we're shooting for $1 is what we're doing. But you can see we bought it for $1 million at a 7 cap, and we're going to take it just the storage to $2.8 million, right? So from a 7 cap to a 19 cap. So really good purchase price. You can see here's the units, but this is all included. You can see all the competition. This is included. This is the executive summary. So you'll be able to download this and take a look at it anytime that you want. And then let's see what else. So that's one. And then we have the let me find the one. This is okay. Max is the second one that we closed on. This is in Macon. Okay, so Macon, if you don't know, is like middle Georgia. It's kind of like it's like a smaller version of Memphis. It's very industrial, a lot of rentals. You know, it's that kind of a city, but there's a lot of people living there. There's a couple 100,000 people living there, so it's not like a small city. You know, but we bought the ugliest storage facility in Macon. You could see it's blue here, and then it's like not painted over here because the owner said that he ran out of paint. So he decided not to finish that. And but it's fenced in, the gate's working. He put a gate in, but that's really all he did was fence it in. When we bought this property, it was making $1,000. It's making $1,000 a month, less than $1,000 a month. He basically ran this property to the ground. And it's in it, like Dawsonville is just basically it's like a town between Macon and Warner Robins, which is you know, it's very fast growing, very, very good area to be in. It just really needs to be cleaned up, secured. You can see there's 40,000 people in the area. This is the property. This property has 170 doors, plus it's on 6 acres. This whole property is included. It's on 6 acres. There's a road actually that comes around. You can see that road. It comes out over here on the street and comes back around. Pete's already in the process of getting quotes to kind of clear a lot of this. So we can start doing some boat and RV parking, put the lights up, cameras, security. We're in the process of getting that building right here converted into indoor climate control, and we're getting it painted. So a lot of stuff. It just takes a long time to finish these, you know, to get these things going so it looks halfway decent, so you can actually get it leased up and stuff. But we're in the process of getting all that done right now. And so that's that property here. Let me see. Let me show you. Here's what this is. It's 2 properties. This one and then this property right here. And so we picked this one up for $375,000. So we overpaid we paid too much money for it, right? It's not worth that much money. But once we get it, stabilized, it's going to be 20,000. Just the storage itself is 20,000 square feet. It should be at 68 cents a square foot. I'm sorry, 78 cents a square foot. So we're taking it from, a negative $200,000 or a negative 2 cap to a 24 cap, because it's about the storage itself is just valued at $2 million. And actually, the competition is at 85 cents a square foot. So we ran our numbers at 78 cents a square foot, just to be conservative. So, but it's going to take us 24 months to get this thing up, going, and starting to get leased out and stuff. So it just takes time to stabilize these properties. That's just really how it works. Okay. So that's there. This is all here. You could see that it's a 26% cash on, or sorry, it's a 24% cash on cash return once we get it leased on. That's not even including the climate control that we're adding or the RV spaces or whatever else we want to do on the back end. Right. So, so that's that property. And then the next one I bought was this one right here, Beacon. This is the one in Leesburg I was telling you about. This one is 10,000 square feet of storage, but then it also has commercial space. Looks like this. The commercial space is up in the front right here, and then the storage is in the building. This building is already painted. The commercial space is already finished and renovated. And we already have a tenant in the commercial space paying $9,000. The tenants take it looks like it doesn't look big, but it's actually rather big commercial space. And so they're paying $9,000 a month. They're actually moving in today. And so that's all done. And then the storage itself was 50% full. We have to just get this leased up. There's 30,000 people in Leesburg. Leesburg is like right north of Orlando. So it's a really good location. It's right next to the Villages. If anybody knows Florida and the Villages, that's where it's at. It's like really right next to the Villages. Here's our property. Let me see if I can see it. It's this property to this fence right here. And you got the building here, the commercial space is right here. Got a brand new roof. They did that right before we bought it. They put a roof up in here, and then this roof is really good. And then this is all painted now. And then we're going to do parking, boat and RV parking right through here. We need to put a gate up, a fence, and like fence it in and fix the fence and stuff. But that's we already got quotes for that. The thing with this facility is that the owner lived in New York, and he did not put any money into it outside of just converting it. He didn't put any money into the security system at all. And so the hours of operation were 9 to 3 Monday through Friday. That's it. Because somebody had to close it, be there, manage it, and then when they left, they locked it. So then they only worked Monday through Fridays. So that's it. So like essentially nobody wanted to put their stuff there because it's like 24-hour, it's not 24-hour access. So we're in the process of already got quotes, and we're going to secure this place. There's 3 doors, 1 door here, 1 door here, and 1 door here. And we'll just have keypads, and we'll have cameras, and they can just come in and do their thing whenever they want to. Okay, here's the property. It's right in downtown Leesburg. It's a very nice area, right next to Beacon College. It's actually a very good location. And we've already painted it, and it doesn't look like this anymore. I'll see if I can find some pictures for you. They're inside the portal. Inside looks like this, so it's really actually not bad at all. And inside doesn't look bad. Just the building itself looked ugly, but we already got that painted. Okay, it's competition. So this executive summary is available for you to look at. Here's all the competition. We have a CubeSmart. This is a lakeside storage. They have the climate control. It's only climate control. That's who our competitors are. Okay. We picked this one up for $2.4 million. It's valued at it'll be valued over $5 million once we get it full and get it all the income in that we need. So we'll be able to double the rate of this within 2 to 3 years. We'll be able to double the value of this property. I got this one owner financed, right? We put 30% down and got 5% interest, and he's giving us 2 years of interest only payments. So our mortgage is $7,000 a month. It's making about $12,000 a month right now. But once these new people come in, it'll be about $20,000. So we should be fine with being able to pay the mortgage, and then it's a 26% cash on cash return. So you can come into the executive summary and you can look at all the numbers in here and stuff. This is all available for you. Okay, everything's right here. Okay. And then finally, I wanted to show you the one that I'm trying to raise the money for right now, which is hang on, this one. So this is the building that I'm trying to raise money for. This is the big 20,000 square foot building, and here's the storage. It's actually a very nice facility. I mean, not a lot wrong with it. There's a couple doors that are broken and stuff, but it's just not a lot wrong with it, honestly, except for that the owners are just not managing it properly. It's not on, it's not getting any marketing. There's no Google ads. There's nothing. I mean, he hasn't cleaned out a lot. If they don't pay, he just leaves. He hasn't done any auctions in years. So, I mean, it looks really nice. It's actually a very nice looking facility. The building is very nice. Oh yeah, so I was going to tell you about this building too. So this is where he's got the 9 doors. It's 2,000 square foot each section. And there's a bathroom in each section too. And he rents each of these sections out for $500 a month. So total, he's getting about $4,500 a month on this building. But this building in this area should be at about $1 a square foot. Right. So he should really be making around $20,000 on this, but he's had these same tenants for like 10 years and he's never raised the rents on them. So we're going to try to figure out like what we're going to do with this thing. Are we going to kick them out? Are we going to put climate control in here? Are we going to raise the rents on them? We're just going to have to figure that out. But that's kind of where this is it. So I ran the numbers really only on the storage because I didn't really know what we were going to do with that yet. But That's here too. It's in Carrollton, which is just right outside of Atlanta. It's a suburb. This is all like, this would be like primary, secondary market. This is not empty space or anything. I mean, this is like, you know, a lot of people live in this area. This is the facility itself. And there's about 45,000 people within 5 miles. So, okay. So we picked it up for $1.4 million. It's making $150,000 right now. We bought it for exactly what it's worth at a 7 cap, right? It's 25,800 square feet of storage, but he's 30% vacant. So he's at a 69 cent a square foot value. And we're going to take it to 95 cents, right? That area is about $1 as well, too. So we ran it at 95 cents. And you can see it's from 1.4 million to $3.1 million. We'll take it from a 7 cap to a 16% cap.